Hi, welcome to For Real Talkers. I'm Bobbi.
And I'm Jen.
And today we're going to be talking about relationships and creating a safe space for your partner to be able to be vulnerable.
Right.
And by that, we're really talking about men. Because some guys have recently told me that we don't make them feel safe enough where they can be vulnerable and just really open up to us.
Really?
So, yeah. So what do you, I mean, I have a lot of thoughts about that too, but let's see what you're thinking, Jen.
Well, I think for me, because I'm not representing the whole woman species. I'm talking about for me.
Yes,
I require a certain level of, I want him to be vulnerable, show me that side of humanity. I don't want to worry about you. Like I used to ask my mate before, like, what do? You eat rocks for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Like, why are you always so like,
kind of
like,
rough and tough?
Yeah, all the time. And I'm like, it's okay. Like if you want to cry, because I know he was feeling a certain emotion, but he didn't want to show it. And I'm like, you can cry. Nah, I don't cry. Boy, if you don't just let go, it's okay. I like that. I want you to show me that. I want you to show me your I don't even want to say softer side, because if you say softer, they get real tense.
Oh, that word.
They don't like that. Yeah. I want you to show me your
firm side.
Your sensitivity. Like I'm saying, tell me what did Ralph Tresvant say? Girl, I know it's been hard since he went away. But anyway, you need a man with sensitivity.
We're not gonna win any.
But anyway, we already know that. But anyway, I want you to be sensitive.
Yes,
I want you to just tell me what your emotions are. Be in the moment. Be present. You don't have to be so hard all the time.
Absolutely.
And if things are not okay, tell me it's not okay. I'm not. I'm having a hard time.
Yes.
And I could use your help. Or if you feel hurt, show me that. Yeah.
Express that. Well, you know what, Jen? I think a lot of it is stemming from the way that men, it started out when they were boys, okay? There was a lot of pressure on these young boys, especially in our culture, that you got to be strong. Possibly a lot of fathers weren't in the household. That could have attributed to it as well. But you got to be strong. Boys don't cry in the dark. Men don't cry in the dark. Be tough. Stick your chest out. Like, don't complain.
Right.
So
right.
Everything was kind of like hush hush, and the boys were trained to have this tough exterior. And I think it just made them feel like they had to hide their true feelings, hide their emotions for fear that they're going to look soft.
Right.
And it made them grow up and be less vulnerable. So I'm going to start off by saying some of that is the fault of the mothers. Maybe the fathers or whoever raised those men.
Yeah.
They attributed to that. So now, as the man, the boy grows up to become a man, he's already uncomfortable with crying. Even if you're not crying, you can actually express yourself and be vulnerable with your lady without tears. Yeah. Just in words. And really allow yourself to let her in to know what's really going on, to get a good understanding.
Right. No.
So I mean, it's so sad, but I'm also going to say that some of it is the adult women fault. Women come into men's lives, and not all women, and I'm not saying all women,
Don't say that.
But oftentimes women, we've been known to have this attitude. This is what I hear from men. And so, we want to give the guy a lot of lip. We got our hands on our hip, and we have this attitude. The attitude already denotes judgment. So when a person feels like you're going to be judging them, it's going to make it that much more difficult for them to feel safe, to really open up. If they're going to feel you're going to judge them. So we got to work on that. We got to figure out how we can work cohesively together. Women, maybe we need to be a little softer to help the guy feel more comfortable. But guys, you need to talk to us and help us get there. We have to figure it out together.
Well, I do believe that there is definitely a stigma with women, black women, saying that we're always like attitude, and that's not the case at all. But at the same time, whereas men, you talked about men starting off as boys and and becoming men and having to be rough and tough. Women on our end, of course, we had to like handle everything and hold things on our shoulders. So it gave us a
tougher exterior
attitude, because we don't have time. Like we've been holding it together for so long, so it kind of comes across as like angry or always giving attitude, and that's not the case. So yes, you're right. We got to find a way to work together.
Yes. Find that middle ground.
But I do believe that society like depicts, black women, black men, like black women, we are angry. Black men, they, we the diary of a mad black woman. And men,
I'm sorry, I'm glad. Go ahead. No, finish your thought.
Go ahead. And then men, so it's like we clash our heads, but that's not the case generally. We had to carry the load of a lot, generationally. I'm sorry.
Yes.
That it became a stigma, and that's not the case at all.
And just the fact that you mentioned the diary of a mad black woman. Hello, he gave her plenty reason to be a mad black woman. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm with you from, when you have absolutely nothing.
Yep.
And you come up, and I'm making sacrifice to be with you and to support you, and you come up and you're going to step off with the other chick now when you're successful. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I'm not only going to be an angry or mad black woman, I'm ready to kick somebody's butt.
Right.
Yes.
So then after that, it's going to give you that attitude going forward with the next person, which that happened in the movie. But I guess we have to learn to heal. They do say the best way to get over a person is get under another person, but that's not the case.
I don't agree with that.
Like you definitely need to heal before moving on, because then you're going to carry that attitude.
Yes.
And then
pain.
Yes, that pain, and then that same stereotype, that same stigma that they place is being displayed, and they don't even know why, because you just haven't, you angry about from the past. Now, mind you, I don't try to carry baggage into the next
Sometimes it's hard not to.
Exactly.
Right.
Sometimes it's hard not to.
Because experience is experience.
Yep. So you kind of like making sure you're mindful of what's in front of you, because you remember what's behind you, and you don't want a repeat of that anymore. So I mean, and I don't even know how we got into this, but guys, it's a safe space. It's okay. Like I don't even care. It might be a little. I mean, I might be attracted to somebody, might shed a little tear or whatever, or tell me some poetry or something. Show me your sensitive side. I want that part.
But maybe it would be a good question for like when you're in a relationship to have that dialogue with that woman and find out how she feels about a man being vulnerable.
Yeah.
Because maybe some women can't stand seeing their man vulnerable. It might make her feel like he is inferior or less than or weak, and be turned off. Some women might really feel that way.
It depends on the level of sensitivity you give it. I don't want you to be like, okay, girl, like, no.
But I think that a conversation is important. You definitely, we have to talk more about everything to one another, especially with your partner, what your fears are, what your expectations are, the way you handle certain things, we got to talk about it so we can try to understand each other better. But for me, I would love a vulnerable man. I want you to be vulnerable, because you know why? I'm going to be vulnerable.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be, because that's the best way that you can really understand me. I don't feel like I should have to hide things. When you're hiding your vulnerability, you're faking in a whole lot of ways. You're faking. There's a lot of pretense. You might start lying, And
I get it.
And how's that healthy?
It's not. I get it. I want a strong man. I want to feel safe when I'm with him.
Yes.
And I want him to be my protector.
Okay.
But yet and still, like, you could be when you outside in those, out there in the world, but when you come to me, you don't have to do that. Like, you know.
But you know what a good thing to do, I believe, is when your man is being vulnerable with you, the best thing that we could probably do is shut up. Shut the hell up and listen. Sometimes they're not looking for us to have an answer.
No.
We don't always have to have a response. Although a lot of times, ladies, I know we feel like we just know what they should be doing, and we usually do. But sometimes they're not really looking for us to comment.
Right.
They might be just looking for that sensitive ear for us to listen and take it in. And a lot of times when you start talking and expressing yourself, you get to hear yourself. You can answer a lot of stuff for yourself. Yeah. And so by listening, I think you're creating a safe space. You listen like this. Ooh, oh, babe, really?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I appreciate you sharing that with me. Oh, my, that meant so much that you told me that. Even if you're not agreeing, even if you have a negative thought based off what he's saying, you ain't got to say it right then and there. You can always think about it, make sure that's what you really mean, and figure out a way that you can deliver it to him without putting him on a guard, on a defense, making it sound negative.
Yeah.
Talk about it the next day. You don't have to say anything right away.
Yeah. You got to learn how to read the room. Like, really, don't come in with your nonsense when you already see, like, you walk in a room and you feel like you just you walked to a lion's den. And that goes both ways, too.
Yes.
Because if you feel like you walked in a lion's den, you do not want that smoke. So just, it's okay.
Listen,
like,
listen
right
more.
there. Like, let me take your shoes off for you. Like, let me give you a massage. You all right? What you need? Like, and just listen. That's it. That's it. That's all I'm doing.
Listen, I know I've heard all of my youthful years until adulthood that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. We should listen more and speak less. So especially if somebody is coming to you and you can see they're in a vulnerable state, whether you agree or not, give them that opportunity to listen.
Right.
And let them see that you're confidently listening. Not that you're sitting back waiting to throw out a rebuttal because you don't agree with what they're saying. No, because that might not be the right time to rebut. You want him to become safe with expressing himself, with allowing himself to be vulnerable. So allow him to do it. You can share your thoughts later after you have acknowledged what he said, and basically letting him know, I hear everything that you just said to me. I might not agree 100%, but I appreciate it. It means so much to me that you opened up to me and that you felt comfortable. I want you to feel comfortable to share with me. I want to be able to understand you more. That's understanding you more. I can grow. We can grow better with each other. We could become closer, become a stronger unit. One hand washes the other, and we could both wash our faces together. I'm definitely willing to be vulnerable with my boo.
I love that.
I am.
You said one, and we both wash our faces. Oh, that is some deep stuff. She was just talking.
Ain't that deep?
But I can tell you, I know that we sometimes we listen to respond instead of listening.
Yes. You're sitting there preparing that rebuttal while they're speaking, so you're not really actively listening.
Yeah, so
right, you're not.
I'm a work in progress, y'all.
Me too.
Sometimes I'll be ready, like, and I'm not even after you done talk. I'm already responding to the first sentence, that part.
You know what it is, because oftentimes we are in a hurry to say what we're thinking because we feel like, if I don't say it right now, I'm going to forget. Well, sometimes it's meant for you to forget because it's not your moment. It's not always your moment. Sometimes that moment belongs to him. Let him have it.
I agree.
Yes.
But ladies, I know we carry a lot. So sometimes we don't have time. We don't have time for it, and we don't want to hear it. But you have to learn to be.
Yes, and learn the difference when you need to have the time. Learn the difference. And I'm not saying every time, your man is always right whenever he's coming to you. No, but try to recognize that he is being vulnerable. He is trying to open up and share. He wants that support and that love and that comfort and that encouragement, So try to see that and give it to him.
Yep.
Just give it to him.
I agree.
Tell him about himself later on, but no. But no, give him that. Give him that space. Let him feel safe. This way, when he's stuck with challenges or faced with challenges at the job, or with other people, there you go. Yes. Make him want to run home.
Safe space.
Yes.
You should be the solace.
Yes, absolutely.
The
Absolutely.
solace.
Don't ever let anybody else make your guy, your man, your husband, your lover, your partner feel safer with them than with you.
Man, I could tell you stories, but we ain't got that type of time.
Maybe we got time for one story. I don't know.
But yeah, no, don't. I agree what Bobbi said. Seriously, I truly believe you should be the solace for your partner.
Yes,
that's it.
Yes. So let's just try to do better, because to me, creating that safe space is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. I think that's one way you can move your relationship from just being an ordinary relationship to extraordinary.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Yes, because so many men have complained and have even shared stories with me that they just don't feel safe enough to be vulnerable with their lady. For fear, you're going to judge them. You're not going to accept them. You're going to belittle them.
Yeah.
You're not going to give them the respect.
And that's not true.
You're going to, right. But men also, don't let your ego and your pride stand in your way from being vulnerable.
Right.
Because recognize most of the times it's not really, sometimes it has a lot to do with just history. But sometimes it's your ego standing in the way too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Exactly. I'm with all of that. I believe that you definitely have to allow that room for that conversation to be had as far as like, how are you feeling?
Yes.
That we always talk about that mental check-in.
Yes.
Yes. Because you carry a lot of weight when you're out there. It's hard on both parties.
Yes,
so
it is.
Sometimes you bring all of that home, and you might come home and then your partner becomes target practice. And I'm not talking about like real gunplay, but like just that anger directed, and it's not intentional, not really for you, but because of what happened out there.
Yeah.
That
so
right there.
Yes.
So I believe I am trying, I'm learning every day to become more open to listening to my partner.
Yes.
And understanding that he is human as well. Like he's, and also speaking of that, I'm learning to spoil my partner because
I'm blessed. What does it say, Jen? What does it say?
It says I'm blessed and available to be spoiled. I wore that the other day when we went out to eat, and he was like, "What you mean you available?" I'm like, "Listen, the shirt says what it says. If you can't do it, then keep on pushing." But no, I'm just joking. All jokes.
Well,
yeah, I like my shirt.
Yeah.
I'm available to be spoiled. But anyway, you should spoil your partner.
Spoil each other.
Spoil him, spoil her. All the same. I'm telling you.
Well, I'm going to say that I'm blessed and I'm available to be spoiled, and that's because I'm single, 100% single. But I still know that I'm blessed.
We both are single. Because this ring right here is just something that I bought for myself. Let me put this on the other hand. No, I am single. See, you're like, anyway.
So was there something else, Jen, that you wanted to mention?
Well, our last conversation we were talking about lopsided relationships.
Okay.
And this is still talking about it too, like what you should do, when your mate wants to be or allowing your mate to be vulnerable. Mm-hmm. But I was talking about lopsided relationships and how sometimes we stay and linger in these relationships. Well, you're captive mentally, emotionally captive in these relationships because that person don't want you, but they don't want nobody else to have you.
Yes.
So I had that thought after we had that conversation, and I'm like, so you emotionally captive because they don't want you to go nowhere, but they don't want to be bothered with you. Like, give us free. Let that person go, right? Or let that person go for both of their sanities. Yes. Period. Because it's not fair to be in that type of relationship. That's it. That's all I said. I said what I had to say.
Well, if I had a mic right now, I would just drop the mic. You said it all. Well, I hope that this do you have something else to add?
I'm done, y'all.
So am I for now. So we're going to bring on some men to see how the men really feel about it. And they could basically share their true feelings and thoughts as to why they feel that we don't allow or create a safe environment for them to be vulnerable. So that's coming up soon, next episode. I want to say thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Yes. Thanks for tuning in.
Don't forget, hit the subscribe button and turn on those notifications so you can be notified for all of our upcoming videos.
Yep. Live broadcasts and all. Full versions on YouTube, right?
Yes.
So on all platforms, but you can get the full show on YouTube.
But we're also on Instagram and also on Facebook at 4. That's the number 4 Real Talkers. And guys, this T-shirt is available at 4realtalkers.com.
It's so cute. Yes. This is my favorite shirt, and I was thinking about I might cut it like cut the arms off because it's sexy, and then maybe put a little shoulder pad because I dressed this bad boy up and down because I had it on with a skirt and some booties.
Cute. Yes,
and I be trying, but anyway, yes, these are Bobbi's creations, so I will be a walking billboard.
Oh, thank you, Jen. Love you, boo.
And everybody asks me for these, like, where you get that shirt from? And I give them the link, but the T-shirts are dope. So.
Oh, thank you, Jen, and it looks dope on you. That's because you're dope, so you made it dope.
Yeah, thank you.
But anyway, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, y'all. See you later. Bye.
Bye.